everyone to another interview with Ryan Balkwill, the author of RDB Reviews, WordPress.com. Ryan is about to show us the artwork for Streaming Summer Part 2. Ryan's broken this up into 3 sections for the drawing. One is Kissing Booth, the movie, number 2. The other is Gangs of London TV series. And the other is The Old Guard, which is a movie.
Both the 2 movies are from Netflix. The third one is from Sky One. The Old Guard.
This is the graphic that Ryan is showing on his website.
Yep.
And it says, "Forever is harder than it looks." And we'll find out what that means in a second. So, starring Charlize Theron, The Old Guard. This is an action drama movie directed by Gina Prince-Bythewood, written by Greg Rooker. It's produced by Charlize Theron, Beth Kono, Dana Goldberg, Mark Evans, David Ellison, Don Granger, and A.J. Dix. It's based on the Old Guard comic book by Greg Rooker, Leandro Fernandez. And it stars Charlize Theron, Kiki Lane, Matthias Schoenaerts, Marwan Kenzari, Luca Marilla, and Chiwetel Ejiofor. A group of mercenaries, all centuries-old immortals, with the ability to heal themselves, discover someone is onto their secret, and they must fight to protect their freedom. Ryan says, "I was intrigued with this film to see what it was all about, and the movie was very good." Pros. All of the performances were great, expressing their hardship of lasting alive for so long. The film felt different than others in the comic book genre, and a lot of the action scenes in the film is a bit similar to the likes of Deadpool and Wolverine. On the cons, the way they used healing factor in this film did look a bit wobbly and not that convincing. The Mark Zuckerberg-type villain was not that intimidating, and this is one of those films that you need to rewatch again and again to get what's going on in the movie. So it's a sci-fi heavy sort of plot. They are immortal.
Yeah, it's like a bit of a comic book film.
And it's a comic book film. Yes, very good point.
The black girl on the white side of the poster, she's like the inside of the film. Immediately just come in, like, I'll say about like 2 minutes of the film, starts going to war from the military, and she just discovered she's the fifth immortal. And Charlie Theron said bye-bye, you guys, to his teammates to try to get her to join their team.
Charlize Theron is trying to gather people to join the team. So is she in charge, or is Charlize Theron in charge?
Charlie Theron in charge.
Yeah, she certainly dominates the poster.
The other 3 people, they're like, it's just like they're part of the teammates. All 4 of them like left their mark on the world for like thousands of years.
Right, cool.
Now, like living for so long, they are struggling the effect of living for so long.
They're so bored. They've seen everything on Netflix.
You do get flashbacks being around since Victorian times, like the Cold War.
Right.
And probably something in the modern day as well.
Because you mentioned it's like Wolverine. So I know Wolverine, the more recent movie.
Yeah.
Sorry, audio is doing something funny.
Yeah, like some of the action scenes do feel like that.
Right.
Definitely with raw blood coming out of the...
Right, so it's a violent movie.
And like some of those, like a machete to chop guys up.
It says in the corner of your graphic, sequences of graphic violence and language. So it's R-rated, which means it would be a 15 rating in the UK.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack, Ryan. So it reminds me a lot of the heist movie theme, your Six Underground or even Team America, World Police. It feels like, you know, this is a group of like super cool dudes and we can do anything. Does it introduce each character backflipping off of buildings and that kind of thing?
Well, they do introduce the characters, but the film said they are like SUVs, which actually put together and actually doesn't show like a...
That's quite interesting. Good. I'm quite glad that they didn't spend forever setting up the history of the characters, because they're not Marvel characters. They're not Spider-Man. We don't care for the backstory too much, possibly. We just want to see them do stuff.
I think there was one about many years ago set up by one of their enemies in Iraq. that you thought they were done, their ability started to like heal up, and they got back up in the fight.
So you mentioned they're mercenaries, so they would have been in the Iraq War, the Cold War you mentioned. So they basically find themselves in war. How do we find out why they have immortal powers? Is it technological, science fiction, or is it supernatural?
No, not supernatural.
They're not vampires.
No.
It's a standalone film. This is something I wanted to ask. It feels like, because it's a comic book, it might be setting up a franchise, but does this feel like a one-off movie?
It's sort of that way, yes. Well, to me, I thought, well, this would be interesting. Let me watch this.
Because it reminds me as well of Inception. You know me, right? I'm going to keep comparing it to other movies. But you've got a group of like highly sophisticated people with powers, and they go on some kind of mission. And it's not to do with characters that you know really well. So that's quite interesting right there.
Yeah, and fast forward to the present day, where they're all older, going to go back to what they do, which is hunt people down and take justice. At the same time, feel the effects of living for so long that they question themselves. Except for Charlie's films, the major badass of the film.
She's fine with it. She can go on forever.
Because she's pretty much great at anything now. Just do that with atomic bomb. Yeah. Of like two of the soldiers in the film, they are both gay. And the other one doesn't speak, they just do like sign language.
Excellent. That's nice. That's nice to see that in a movie. So we're singing this film's praises. It's ticking a lot of boxes for you, but you say that the effects are a bit wobbly and the bad guy isn't great.
Yes, that's what I say. The healing effects sometimes are not like really fully like, not really like well done. If you see like in films like in Logan or Deadpool, when you see like the body like healing themselves back together again properly, sometimes you see them like get shot or just stabbed or anything, they don't actually heal up as quickly.
Okay.
Yeah, they do like actually learn to like get up and fight back, not like heal up. So basically they're like, sometimes they have it like scars or honors.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And the villain in there is just bloody useless. And I thought I always call him the guy from 12 Years a Slave.
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah, he like the well, he knows he's working with the bad guys, but it gets against his own will. Either like his family gets killed, and this the least most interesting villain ever, like a Mark Zuckerberg.
You mentioned, so I'm guessing some kind of tech entrepreneur stumbles on the secret and threatens to expose them and take over the world at the same time with Twitter or something.
Yeah, a little similar, but you're really close there.
Yeah, we can write this stuff, Ryan.
Yeah.
Me and you.
Yeah, like the villain, all he needs was the same formula as the Immortals have, so he can make his own army full of Immortals themselves.
I'm just picturing Jesse Eisenberg from Batman versus Superman now, because he played.
I thought you were going to say Social Network.
Well, that's the point. He played in the Social Network, Mark. So that kind of bad guy, I'm guessing he's like a techie, geeky. I don't know which actor plays the bad guy, but it sounds like it doesn't matter, Ryan, because you're not that interested in the bad guy. They're not great. It's another example of the bad guy not being as great as the good guys, and it's like you've got some good guys, but you need some threat. You need some good counterweight, and it's a shame when that doesn't happen.
Yeah, but at least Jesse Eisenberg in Social Network, at least you could create like the feel of like, oh yeah, this guy can be very young, but also very wise and intelligent. Like know how to like get himself out of sticky situations.
You know, he gets his lawyers to do it.
But this other guy, he feels like a complete twat that you can pretty much just kill him immediately.
Okay.
And my last con is, I think some people probably won't get this film for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
I think you want me to watch it many more times before you're like, I get what this film's about now.
That's why I mentioned Inception. So it's what's called a high concept movie. It's got a lot of brand new concepts that you need to learn through the course of the film. And I'm guessing if you watch the second time, you'll come in with that information. So
yeah, and also it feels like grounded instead of like just big CGI. Pow, that.
good.
Just a bit still. Charlie Theron kicking ass. A black woman, an openly gay couple soldiers, and taste of Netflix magic.
Have you seen the comic that it's based on?
No, tried looking up on eBay and it's not on there.
Don't have read the source material. It's okay just to watch the film. I'm just interested to see if the characters are diverse in the comic the way that you've explained them in the movie, but we don't know, so that's okay.
No, but I am interested now. I'm very interested now.
What interests me, Ryan, is Charlize Theron is a producer as well as the main star, so this is a passion project for her. She obviously wanted this film to be made, and I'm guessing that the character that she plays is a strong female character in the comic books, so that's why she wanted to make it, probably.
Yeah, Charlize Theron is great.
Yeah.
It's great in everything.
She did Aeon Flux, didn't she?
Yeah, the monster.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I know a Fast and Furious film. Definitely number 8.
I was more leaning towards the science fiction heavy side of things. Her and Scarlett...
I get what you mean, yeah.
They're like the poster actors for sci-fi nowadays. You know, if there's a sci-fi concept, you get Charlize Theron or Scarlett Johansson to play the lead female role. It's quite cool.
That's your old guys review. Very well watchable. I think it's highly recommended.
This come out in July on Netflix, so it's available. Can I ask, Ryan, does Netflix take things down after a time, or does it just stay on Netflix forever? Do you know?
Well, if they're like Netflix original films or TV shows, I think it's their definitely property.
Yeah, so they're going to keep it. But this will be available forever.
But other stuff haven't got the Netflix logo on them, they will probably much just get rid of them.
Okay. I hadn't thought of that before, whether Netflix has a shelf life for programs and films or if it's just there forever. Because as we said last week, they're uploading stuff every week. It's hard to keep up. Anyway, Old Guard, starring Charlize Theron, based on a comic book, high sci-fi concept, Immortals. Mine highly recommends on Netflix.
Yes, indeed.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right, the next one is a Sky original series.
Yeah.
Gangs of London. Yeah, that one. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like imagine the Sopranos, but instead of doing our business in another country, they come to London.
It definitely has that. It's gritty. If you look, no one's smiling. The clouds in the sky. It's a gritty looking drama. Everyone's a bit...
Yeah, which I actually did try to narrate the same picture here.
Very grey, very lumpy, very small.
Really close.
No, it's wonderful, Ryan. That is your center image. Clearly, you rate this one. You're a fan. Action crime drama by Ben Dunn. It's got a huge cast, which you can look at in the notes in our YouTube video if you're interested to see who's in it. But let's skip on to the plot. When the head of a criminal organization is assassinated, the resulting power vacuum leads to a struggle that threatens the fragile peace among the intricate web of international gangs operating on the streets of modern-day London. Ryan says he was so excited for this show because it was great to see this filmed in London. The first series was so good. The pros: this is the most violent show I've ever seen. The dictation of this dark and gritty London was so well done, from the camera work to the extra and feel of the city. The fights are so good. I appreciate the unpredictability of what's going to happen in the show. And you can understand I caught in the middle of this war and between family members. The cons. The drama in this show does take itself too seriously at times. The characters are hard to get invested in, and this first series is deeply flawed. Ryan has listed a huge cast of characters. He mentions the Wallace family, the Dumani family, the Kurds, the police, the Albanians, the Pakistanis, Welsh travellers, and other characters. So, yeah, interesting mix of people, Ryan, but that's London for you. It's got everyone in the world.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking forward to the most, because it's set in my very place in the country, London.
Indeed.
Where I was...
Well, do you recognise any scenes, Ryan? Sometimes when you see something in your hometown, you're like, London's so big.
Well, yeah, I could see like the big, near West, like the Big Bang, and like where there used to be the big BT tower.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all those big buildings and everything else.
So it makes the point, like a good gritty drama does. It probably shows you a lot of the skyline, and then it shows you the street.
Yeah, yes, indeed. But the first thing I know from this show is the opening scene, which I think is Sean Wallace. Yeah, Sean Wallace, that's it. I think it's one of the rival gang. Could be just a rival gang or just a normal person. Hanging off the wood. And he actually then just falls to his death.
It doesn't get more gangster than that, does it?
Yeah, which you feel like throws alcohol, but also that's what I'm going to respect from this film show.
Yeah.
And it fast forward, and then the big logo pop. The gangs of London. They capture the whole of London beautifully.
Good.
They capture London beautifully. From like the cabs, the pubs, the smaller bungalows, yeah, and the big tower in the city, and all those, in the quite dark and gritty Williston world of what this show is set in.
Can I ask a question on that, Ryan? So obviously London is such a huge place. Often a drama or whatever sticks to one part of London because, you just focus on what you know. But does this take you east, west, north, south? Does it go all over?
Well, yeah, they do. Some occasions it do. You get like a lot of the action is either just people getting baptized, rival gangs of that like getting fights with each other, or just like the mother in the show of like and whether they're maids because they're like in clothes or anything. Very bloody stuff.
It makes me think of Peaky Blinders now as well. I wonder if that influenced this program, if they thought we want to do a London version of Peaky Blinders, but set it in the modern time. Because again, London just has the whole world there. So, you've mentioned a bunch of different gangs, but it's got everyone.
Yeah, pretty much. And I thought, this is going to be like a big drag-out show. With like a lot of like punches. But it was even more than that.
Right.
Which, when I say it was the most violent show I ever seen.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, in some moments, and I see a lot of violence over the summer. With the Punisher and everything else.
I'd say you will have Watson punishment, yeah.
Yeah, and my God, Lord is like whatever it's like, as to be stabbed by a up in a bar, or even just punches. Very like realistic like punches.
Okay.
Or,
Would you say, Ryan, that it's gratuitous? Is it over the top? Or is the violence set in the drama? Does it need to happen?
Well, yeah, it does feel like it needs to be in the drama.
Okay.
Definitely in this show.
They're not just filming lots of violence and going, that'll do. Like, it is to do with the story.
Yeah, but certain moments, it feels like the violence go a little bit too far. times, but that's just as well as the mistake of the show.
Okay. I mean, unfortunately, London is a very violent city as well. There's no denying people get done in horribly there on a daily basis. But this is a fictional narrative. I don't imagine it's based on any real characters, but it's believable.
Yeah, so believable indeed.
Okay.
And it's got like, you've got this creative inability of you don't know what's going to happen. Who's going to betray who? Who's going to not, it's going to get decapitated? Who's going to stab each other in the back? Or who's ever going to be the last one standing? Or whatever.
Because you say it's an assassination, so it's all about backstabbing and you can't trust anyone.
Of like, definitely where they killed the dad of the Wilson family.
Yeah.
And when the series and his son like takes over power of his empire, which is own goal, which is trying to find the killer of his dad, and basically like Batman, which is like serving his way of justice by just taking him out. But he didn't. So instead, he sometimes his motivational the stuff he does, he don't really like root for him that much.
Right, he's an anti-hero. Yeah.
Yeah, basically, all them are anti-heroes in a way.
Yeah.
And also, we had like this sanity. Our chaos throughout the show, which you don't know, like, who should trust. Well, I'm working with this guy.
Right, yeah.
It's set from one bloke, which is like a normal, everyday man, which is like former soldier who came back to London to be the one to protect his family. He does serve the point in the series, proving himself to Wallace to be a part of their cause, but all of a sudden there's more than meet the eye to all this stuff that's going on.
Can I say, Ryan, I'm interested nowadays when you see an ex-serviceman or a soldier finding work in the criminal underworld, because obviously they've been trained to kill, but, you know, they're out of work now because the Afghan war, the Iraq war, whatever. So it's interesting that we're moving along in the 21st century. You've got these soldiers getting into gangsterism. I assume that happens, is my point. This drama is making that happen, but I assume that happens in the real world as well.
Well, oh yeah, definitely with all these riots, going all over the globe now.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's a lot of change.
Yeah.
Whether the film is, the program is about that. You mentioned The Sopranos, so it is following the gangsters. It's about them. Are the police just corrupt and bad as well, or are they good policemen?
Well, some of them are much good policemen in it, but at some point they do get corrupted with families like turning each other's heads off. This is basically a show of the Bachelor of London. How much this realistic take of London can corrupt people and like can get into chaos. So basically they like drive the chaos.
Okay, cool. How many episodes, Ryan?
About 10, which they all are able to catch up on them. Sky Q.
And Ryan rates it 8 out of 10. Will there be a second series?
Hopefully.
Once again, man, we're in this horrible zone where we don't know what's going to get made, what won't get made next year, but it should have a second series. It's a story worth telling.
Yeah, and the ending, which I won't spoil, the ending feel like it leads you to possibilities of what's going to happen. That's why it left the effect on me.
It's interesting, man. The graphic that you've used, to me, it feels more like Gotham, right? It looks like the poster for Gotham.
It does feel like that a bit, yeah.
Yeah. That's maybe what they're tapping into.
Instead, you don't have Batman. It's the gangsters.
But you mentioned a character like Bruce Wayne who's taking on this buildings I don't recognize. I thought this was a futuristic London, but is it set now? It's set in like 2020.
Yeah, definitely set in 2020. Yeah, that's Gangs of London for you.
Yeah.
Some of the acting can be way over the top.
Yeah, come on, man. If
Yeah,
you're in a London...
I like the main lady, like trying to get information. If one of his members are like bullshitting him, it's
Right.
like, don't lie to me. Don't lie to me!
Ryan, that was terrifying. You would make a really intimidating boss. You would.
But that's what he sounds like.
I could just see myself going, please, please.
My mother.
Ryan was acting like a gangster and incredily convincing.
Right.
I was made quite nervous just then.
It sounded good from out there.
Yeah.
So,
show me the respect.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's Going to London, which is definitely a well-watched show.
Excellent.
And also, along with the entire show itself, it got, like, special features as well. Like, interview from the cast, the world of what this show is set in, and interviews from the main cast and about the families as well.
And that's on Sky Q as an extra program.
Like a Sky exclusive show, yes.
Excellent. So let's hope that people around the world take an interest. It's not just for Londoners. It's probably not totally fictional. It is based in the real world. But like you say, some of the acting might be a bit Guy Ritchie, a bit rock and roller, a bit over the top.
Yeah, pretty much indeed.
Cool. All right. Nice one, though.
So yeah, let's just get this last round of the day, which is the Kissing Booth 2.
So lovely big poster. Now I noticed I was Googling, Ryan, RDB Reviews to look up Kissing Booth because I knew this was on your illustration. So Ryan did a review in 2018 of Kissing Booth #1.
I was going to say something like that. Yeah, thank you very much.
Feel free to add to it yourself. So this is Kissing Booth 2. This is the sequel, yeah?
Yeah, which I did actually enjoy the first one.
Yeah.
Which is noticed to those who forgot about the Kissing Booth 1. It left off with them going off in their separate ways, but still like in touch with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them is started Kissing Booth business, and the other one, oh great, another phone interrupting me. Someone's phone's winning! That's what I'm saying, Joey King is like going holiday, swapping away from this relationship drama. And that's what leads up to this one, which Joey King actually come back from holiday to reunite with his ex. They come back with extra new challenges, which is in terms of relationships. Of like falling in love with this other guy. He gets in college and it's up to three for loving Noah. We create a lot of summer romantic chaos.
These three lovely looking people and they've all got very floppy hair. And I'm guessing that one of them is the new interest and the other one is fighting for love. Yep.
Yep. And that's the one I brought you in the net in a motorcycle.
All right. Okay. So I'm the extra floppy haired guy. Yeah, by the motorcycle. I understand.
Yeah. Well, Connor will be the type of guy that would love a motorcycle in real life.
Yeah, my dad used to do one, and I used to ride on the back of his. So that's as close as I've gotten to a motorcycle.
I thought this sequel was very surprising. It was interesting.
So I was interested to see how this film explored relationships and friendships. The acting got a lot better as the film goes on. Every location felt bright and alive. and the runtime for this sequel does work in this film's favor. So relationships between friends and, well, friendship relations, basically. Will they take it further, or are they going to stay chums?
Yeah, which actually because you know me, because I have actually told you this before, which I'll pretty much will say now.
Go on.
I know they have really good relationships myself.
Oh, dude, it's tough. We're all locked away from each other. You've got a really good heart, man, intelligence. You don't need me to tell you all this.
I thought this film did a pretty good job of exploring relationships and friendship throughout the film. Definitely when Joey King. That's all I can just recall it now. Joey King. It's sometimes throughout the film she's like conflicted of like, should I stay with my friend I've been together with since the first film, or just go with this younger, more hotter, more of like shy guy?
Okay. It reminds me, Ryan, of Twilight, which I haven't seen, but the poster alone makes me think of Bella having to choose between whatever, but without the vampires and the werewolves. Would you say this is a better teen relationship drama?
Well, yeah, it's better than just saying, I want to get with you, I don't want to get with you.
So it's not flip-flopping random. There is some thought going into it.
It's either you're into this time or you don't.
The runtime works for the film, so you thought the pacing of the movie was great. That's good.
Yeah, which is almost 2 hours.
Wow.
But I think it needed to, because some of it do drag a lot. But I still managed to hang in there and just to pay attention to what's happening on the screen.
Maybe, Ryan, you're used to seeing a whole city destroyed by Marvel Cinematic Universe in the span of 2 hours. You're like, I haven't got my CG destruction. 2 hours is a lot for a drama, especially with just, say, 3 actors. That's impressive.
Oh, yeah, thank you very much. And acting got a lot better as the film goes on. Yeah.
Excellent. Good.
So, yeah, the only criticism I would say, at times it could go too wacky at times. It's like soap opera. Certain moments, like, they do like funny gags. Whenever they like Joey, like, trying to give like this letter to his friend. And all of a sudden, she or someone, like I've never one other mean girls, twists her over and just flying in the air and got the letter ready, and without like just saying anything, it felt like betrayed.
Right.
And certain moments, like, this is the bit where I get say soap opera.
Yeah.
When you've seen this guy for so long, you forget about speaking to your best friend.
Friendships over relationships. Who do I spend my time with? Growing up, basically. And as you kind of mentioned to me, your life moving on. You know, what am I going to do with my life?
Yeah, and also that's very thankful when one of her ex-lovers, lover, which probably like a rival lover.
Yeah.
Which falls into a relationship played by fall in love with a model played by this woman.
Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah, you probably know her from Legends of Tomorrow or Legends
I
of
don't know.
Tomorrow.
I only know things from you, Ryan, because I don't watch anything.
Okay then, that's fair.
The viewers will know.
Oh well, I thought it was a very surprising sequel. Which I thought was good as well.
Fantastic.
3 out of 5 stars.
That is a good recommendation. So Kissing Booth, Ryan has done a review of the first one a couple of years back, and he's now reviewed the sequel, and Ryan rates them both. Yeah. So if you're interested in a relationship drama, light-hearted, doesn't look like it's got too many upsetting scenes. 2 hours, almost, but Ryan says that pacing goes very well. So give it a go on Netflix.
Yeah. And just before we go, I just want to point out something.
Yeah.
As of this moment, when you see my future reviews on movies, TV show, my partners with Fixer and INDB, they are no longer on my blogs anymore. I actually advertise with them only because of the too many of passwords information.
Okay.
And they basically given up on me. The next time I do my review, they'll all come from me.
That's great. So it'll be your opinion without seeking it else. Ryan, thank
Okay.
you for those 3 reviews.
Yes,
All
thank
very
you so
positive.
much, you too, yeah.
Ah, nice one. And we will see you again next Monday, Ryan. Thank you very much.
Then.